Ben is standing in line at a local coffee shop. He has a long day ahead of him, lots of meetings, and he feels like he can't survive without coffee today. He spends $6 on a latte every morning, and when he puts the card to the terminal, a voice is heard in his head. He sounds like all the financial gurus on the internet shouting in unison, "Ben, are you a fool? That's why you're poor." They take out their calculators and rub Ben's nose in the numbers. $6 multiplied by 360, 5 days, is $2,190 a year. If Ben had just invested that money, he would have become a millionaire by retirement. But what if I tell you that the gurus are lying to Ben? What if buying a $6 coffee is actually the most financially responsible decision Ben makes every week? What if giving up this little treat had a 90% chance of making Ben spend $2,000 on an impulsive purchase 3 months later? This is a lie about the latte factor, and this is part of the financial propaganda created to make Ben feel ashamed of being human. At the same time, she ignores the huge structural holes that really make Ben poor. I'm here to tell you that this advice is not just wrong. He's really making Ben poorer, and I'll show you the math that proves it. My name is Ben, and for the last 3 months I've been monitoring every dollar spent by people who believe in the latte factor, and what I found will change your attitude towards small purchases. If you've ever denied yourself small pleasures, thinking that it would make you rich, or if you're tired of financial advice that doesn't work in real life, subscribe and like it. Go. That's what no one tells you about the latte factor. The math is technically correct, but it is absolutely useless because people are not spreadsheets. A study conducted by the Journal of Consumer Research examined 2,800 people who gave up their daily coffee to save money. Do you know what happened? In 6 months, 73% of them increased their total expenses. Not reduced, but increased. On average, they began to spend $2,340 a year more than before they gave up coffee. How is this even possible? That's where the fun begins. When Ben denies himself the small, affordable pleasures, he creates what psychologists call the stress of deprivation. His brain starts counting. I didn't drink any coffee this morning, so I deserve this $89 impulse purchase on Amazon. I've been cooking lunch at home all week. I earned dinner at a $200 restaurant on Friday. I saved $150 on coffee this month, so you can go on a weekend trip for $800. The coffee wasn't the problem. Coffee was the safety valve that prevented larger and more destructive spending. Let's look at the exact math. Ben spends $6 on coffee 5 days a week. That's $1,560 a year. Gurus say, invest this money. At a yield of 7% over 30 years, that would be $147,953. Impressive, isn't it? But here's what they're keeping quiet about. The same people who gave up coffee ended up making an average of 3 large impulse purchases per year, the kind they wouldn't have done if they'd kept drinking coffee. We're talking about unnecessary furniture, electronics, spontaneous shopping trips, weekend trips that weren't planned. The average impulse purchase is $780. 3 of these a year is $2,340. In 30 years, at the same 7%, the lost wealth will amount to $221,556. Ben saved $147,000 by giving up coffee, but I lost $221,000 on impulse purchases. As a result, he became $73,593 poorer. Coffee didn't ruin Ben. Refusing coffee ruined Ben. Now you're probably thinking, well, Ben, so you can spend on everything and not worry? No, that's not what I mean at all. I mean, the things that really ruin your well-being aren't $6 coffees. A research group at Stanford analyzed the expenses of 10,000 households, and she found the 5 main killers of wealth. First, car payments. The average is $560, $3 a month. Second, forgotten subscriptions, streaming services, subscriptions that you don't use. The average is $270, $3 a month. Third, restaurants more than once a week. The average is $412 a month. Fourth, new electronics every year. Phones, gadgets. The average is $140, $5 a month. Fifth, impulsive purchases are more expensive than $100. The average is $260, $7 a month. Put it all together, $1,660 a month, $19,920 a year for expenses that don't bring long-term happiness. And here's the main pinch. The same people who indulged in small pleasures like coffee were 43% less likely to to make large impulsive purchases. Coffee was not the enemy. Coffee protected them from the real enemy. Listen, I'm not telling you to spit on the money. I'm saying that the financial advice industry has been lying to you about where the money actually goes, because it's easier to blame visible daily purchases than to solve real problems. It's easier to say, stop buying coffee, than to say, you bought a car that you can't afford. You're paying for subscriptions that you don't use. You're stressful shopping. Coffee has become a scapegoat. And while you're feeling guilty about your morning latte, you're quietly spending thousands on something that's really ruining you. The car payment alone, $563, is almost 4 times your monthly coffee budget. But no one makes viral videos about how a car ruins you, because it's harder to talk about it. It's easier to shame for coffee. That's what most people don't understand. Personal finance is not just about math. If it was just about math, we'd all be rich, because the math is simple. Spend less than you earn, invest the difference, and wait 30 years. But we are not robots. We have emotions, stress, bad days. There are times when we just need something that will make us feel like people. And when you give up all the little things that bring joy in the name of optimization, you don't create wealth. You're creating resentment, and resentment leads to vindictive spending. Vindictive spending leads to debt. Debts force you to work until you're 70. The problem is not the $6 coffee. The problem is you're driving a car for $48,000 when you could have charged $28,000. The problem is that you're paying for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Apple TV, and Paramount Plus, and you're only watching 2. The problem is that you go to a restaurant 3 times a week because you're too tired to cook, and instead of dealing with fatigue, you just spend money to avoid it. So what should I do? Keep the coffee. Seriously. If a $6 latte is one of the few things that makes you happy during the day, leave it. Instead, reduce the payment for the car, $563. Buy a used one. Reduce your forgotten subscriptions, $273. Conduct an audit. Cut down on restaurants, $412. Cook at home on Sundays. Reduce equipment upgrades, $145. Keep your phone for 3 years, not 1. Reduce impulsive purchases, $267. And allow yourself this coffee as a small controlled indulgence. Do this, and you'll save $1,660 a month. Over 30 years, with a 7% return, that's $1,571,429, and you'll still be drinking your coffee. The gurus got it all mixed up. Coffee is not what makes you poor. Coffee is what helps you stay sane and make the right decisions about really important things. So have some coffee tomorrow morning and cancel those subscriptions that you forgot about. That's how you actually create wealth. If this video has changed your attitude towards money, subscribe. See you in the next issue. Ben went to drink coffee.